Stacking my way to $300. It's a different take. I'll share that on this segment of the Gig Geezer. It is Tuesday, June 4th, 2024, and I am basically at the end of my workday today. And what's going to get me to $300 is a different type of stacked opportunity, particularly on the DoorDash app. I've got a shop and pay at a Walgreens to get a heating pad, and then I go to a restaurant that's on the brink of bankruptcy, Red Lobster. In fact, Red Lobster closed 99 locations, including one in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So who knows? I mean, each time you go to or pass by Red Lobster, it may be the last time they're around. In fact, in the Columbia, South Carolina market, there are two Red Lobster restaurants. Anyway, so the offer amount is $27.48, and both orders go to the same customer, to the same address, which is from where I am actually documenting this, probably about 10 minutes away. So it appears to be one of those nice little tight opportunities. One good thing about shop and pays is that you're going to get your money regardless. What you see typically is what you're going to get. Now, what's interesting with this being stacked with a food or a restaurant order, an on-demand order, is that we really don't know what's going to be the breakdown of the tips until after everything. Of course, that's DoorDash and its lack of transparency. But then again, does Uber Eats tell you what the tips is going to be coming up front? Does Grubhub tell you what your tips are going to be up front? No. So, in fact, Grubhub used to be, once you picked up the order, that's when you know what you're going to be paid on the order in terms of the breakdown with the tips. And Grubhub changed it to where, you don't see anything until after you've completed the order. Now, again, the question is, why am I doing this? I figure it's a different Gig Geezer segment. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything today, and it's like that these days. In fact, this segment, the Gig Geezer, I spoke of the new norms. I spoke of the lack of quality and volume of opportunities across everything, be it brokered opportunities, gig food delivery opportunities, be it on the on-demand side or the catering side, and then even the last mile gig app opportunities. As it turned out today, the only thing I didn't do was a brokered opportunity, but I was looking for it. In fact, I'm almost at the Walgreens location for the heating pad, and so we'll pick up the conversation. I am going to get back to my initial thought, but I got to say this since I've just left the store and now I'm heading to the restaurant part of this order. I'm certain that those of you who have done shop and pays, or for that matter, Instacart, I know there are those who despise them, don't like them. But sometimes when you're looking for an item, what may throw you off is the packaging of the item, because there's been an upgrade of it or a redesign. And I think that's what happened with this particular item. I didn't have to go and ask anyone for help. It's just that, you look at the picture, you look at the item, you look at the picture, you look at the item, you read the labeling, and then you take a chance at scanning. It just so happened it scanned. So I had picked the right item and kind of breathed a sigh of relief. But once I got to the checkout line, it just so happened as well, the customer sent me a message. Good evening, could you please confirm the address? I never had a message like that before. But it's understandable. I didn't huff and discuss or call the customer a motherfucker or a bastard or anything like that. I merely took a screenshot of the address that was listed for the customer on the order, and sent them And he says, correct. So we were cooking with grease, so to speak. Now, one thing that did catch my attention with the DoorDash app, once I started to shop, once I swiped to start shopping, it says, well, you should send this message to the customer, introducing yourself and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, I'm skipping this shit, man. You know, I did stuff like that when I first started doing gig food deliveries on the Postmates and DoorDash apps. I did that shit. I would send them messages and introduce, hey, I'm your driver, and I'm on my way to the restaurant. Are there any changes in the order that you have, or are there any condiments that you like? And did all that shit, and either I got 9 times out of 10 no tips, and then more times than not I got trashed by the customer on the DoorDash app, which is one of the reasons why I did not get above 4.5 in my driver rating until like I had completed 500 orders. Okay, so what I decided to do was actually resume the conversation from the Red Lobster pickup, because I figure that I'm better at summing everything up than trying to go piece by piece by piece, but also trying to be a bit more economic with just what I had to say. Now, I started the day with an Uber Eats opportunity, and then I had a catering opportunity that I'd picked earlier in the day. And so I'm thinking that I'm gonna have the catering opportunity and then try to find whatever money I can. Well, the catering opportunity also took longer than expected, and while in the going back and forth with the gig app about whether I was going to stay around and complete the order, I knew that I was going to get paid because I was there and I already been waiting for about 25 minutes. The first of 2 last mile gig app opportunities showed up on my phone, and that one was going from Lexington to Duncan, South Carolina, something similar to what was in this particular segment of the Gig Geezer. And that one went from the same pickup location but to Greenville, and Duncan is probably from there about 15 minutes, at least location wise. It was like 15 minutes. And so just when I was leaving the catering opportunity, the second gig app opportunity showed up, and that one was from nearby another part of West Columbia going to Newberry, which is along the way to Duncan. So that more than justified my having grabbed that first last mile gig app opportunity. So the catch though is that the pickup was in West Columbia for the catering opportunity going to Swansea, which is an opposite fucking direction of everything. And so I was playing with fire, literally playing with fire. I was a pyro on the gig apps. I was a pyro on the gig apps today, trying to make what I could. Fortunately, I did not get into any trouble with any of the gig apps. There was a moment in which one of the gig apps asked me, are you having any problems? Are you stuck? And I sent them a reply that I'm stuck in traffic, and I sent them a picture of the traffic. In fact, this is the issue. At one point, after dropping off the catering opportunity, I already had gone in the opposite direction, about 15 minutes away from the catering pickup location. I hope you're still with me. All right, there was the catering opportunity, first of 2 last mile opportunities I accepted, and then as I was leaving, a second one appeared, and now that location is about 10-12 minutes from the restaurant pickup. Okay, I mentioned already that the catering drop-off is in the opposite direction, going from West Columbia to Swansea, but from there it's there was a road, the road that I was on to drop off the catering order takes me back towards Lexington to pick up the other last mile gig app opportunity. It would actually set me on the right path. But along the way, I encountered traffic of the worst kind. The road that I traveled is a 2-lane road. It's always been a 2-lane road for at least for the 20 years that I know of having traveled that road. However, as I got closer into Lexington proper, there was construction nearby a brand new elementary school that's being built, and that 2-lane traffic became 1 lane, and so my side of the road waited 3 traffic light cycles before we were allowed to advance. Yeah. Well, I managed. So we completed all 3 of those opportunities earlier today. The only other bit of drama for me was at the drop off in Newberry, was my having to tussle with one of those master locks for the connexes, the storage connexes. And so I was not, admittedly, I was just not familiar with that lock and how you're supposed to lock it back. And so I fiddled with it for like 15 minutes in that sun that was beating down on me, and I was losing patience. I was losing patience on it. I was sweating, hot, and losing patience all at once. But we moved on, and we dropped off the paint in Duncan. In fact, it was right down the road from a number of brokered opportunities that I'd picked up from. So we get back to Columbia. I kind of drive through Columbia, not seeing anything, nothing that caught my attention, and so I figured that I would stop off at the Geezer compound. I figured, well, maybe I can catch one more order that would get me to $300, because I was at $288 and change, $288.30, and I was there for no more than 5 minutes when this order showed up. So an interesting way to end the day. Of course, I've talked for about 10 minutes. It's this segment of the Gig Geezer. Hopefully you're still with me on this, and if you like the content that's been provided in this segment of the Gig Geezer or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. All right, so we're done with that order. I'm driving away from this subdivision. It's a fairly new subdivision, one that's been put in within the last 3 to 4 years. The order paid as offered, $27.48. I'm not surprised by that, particularly when you got a stacked order. Usually one is going to have more of a tip than the other. As it turned out here, the Red Lobster tip was $13.50, and then the other one, the Walgreen tip, was $6.48. Again, this is what I earned today. This is what I've earned so far through today, this week. And again, if you like the content that's been provided in this segment or in any other segment, hit that subscribe button, give my content a thumbs up, share my content among others, and I definitely welcome your comments in the section below. I'm in Wood Lane. As always, may your grind and may your hustle continue.